94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city. Juan Castillo with you, and this is the Electric Drum. Now, it is my pleasure to have some folks in the building that are a part of the New Haven Age Group Track Club. And this is an organization that's been around for many years, working with young people and also just building character and allowing young people to get into the whole issue of health and well-being. And I have with me here today, I have James Barber, who's the founder and now a consultant. I also have Ayana Monroe. She participates in the program, and Michael Loschiavo. I hope that I did the right thing by your name, my brother. So let's go to you first, sir. So Mr. Barber, tell us about how the club got started and give us some history.
Sure. Back in 1970, in the 70s, Southern Connecticut State University wanted to engage in some community outreach. And so one of the things that happened as we were looking around for, okay, what can we do that's significant? And we decided to, I spoke with the president of the university and he agreed. I reached out and got a couple of Southern students, both sophomores at the time. And we decided we would organize this community outreach program, which was going to focus on developmental track and field for youth and fitness for adults. It was interesting because both of those young women have now gone on and made careers for themselves in the area of education. But what happened was the program started, we were looking at diversity. I needed to be sure that if the program was going to sustain itself, and it was volunteer from the beginning, that parents had to feel some ownership. And so we kind of looked at, okay, how can we do that? Well, the program we reached the point where we had well over 100 youngsters.
Wow.
And, at that point, if you're going to continue to give kids a quality experience, then you had to have some quality folks around you. And so I gave the parents 4 options. They could learn how to coach an event, and I would teach them how to do that. They could learn how to officiate because, if you've got competition, you need competent people officiating. Some parents, certainly couldn't do either, so they had the option of chaperoning when we went on trips, or just plain fundraising. For anyone who could do all 4, hey, I was happy about that.
Yes.
So that really was the focus and the structure of getting the program started, keeping it alive, and moving from that point. The parents really stepped up to the plate. I mean, a group of parents took responsibility. Some parents wanted to learn how to coach middle distances. Some wanted to learn how to coach sprints and high jump and all those kind of things. So we spent some time with some learn by doing workshops to show the parents how to do that. But the most important thing was really to be sure that the youngsters had a quality experience with what happened. And the reason why the name is New Haven Age Group Track Club was that some of the parents decided, even though they never had any involvement in track and field, once they began to feel fit, they wanted to compete.
Okay.
So our competitors really were from age 5 up to 56.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
So it really kept the program alive. And the other thing was, be honest with you, as I looked into the stands in the early part of the programs, and all of my parents of color were sitting here and white parents were sitting here and so forth, I said, wait a minute, we really have to do something about this. So as we came together and talked about what does it take for this to be a family and for this to be a program that everybody feels comfortable, since kids were coming in from Old Lyme, East Lyme, Brantford, New Milford, coming into the city, we needed to have a program that celebrated diversity, that everyone felt comfortable, everyone felt some sense of ownership, and felt like there was a return on their investment. And so that was kind of the approach, to getting it done. We have had, I think, close to 5,000 kids that come through the program so far.
Wow. Awesome.
And the interesting thing about it is that it has always been on a volunteer basis. No paid staff. Parents just made the commitment to, whenever we travel up and down the Eastern Seaboard, halfway around the country, parents made the commitment to, sell raffle tickets or whatever they needed to do in order to allow the kids to do that. So that was really, the platform upon which we built the program.
And so tell me about exactly what the program does besides teach folks how to run fast.
That certainly, as a track and field program, you want to do that, but the program has always focused on the whole child. So we wanted to know what's happening in school. Are you getting your homework done? Do you need help? The older individuals in the program, some of whom were professionals, were willing to mentor the kids. So it was always a family kind of program where you were looking at trying to build character, some sense of what it takes to be successful, and what does it take to get to the next level, and whether the next level was the next level at some college, university in track and field, or whether that next level was getting into Harvard or Dartmouth or wherever. That was really the focus. And it's interesting because when I look at the kids who've come to the program, we've had kids who've gone to Dartmouth, Harvard, BC, BU, James Madison, UPenn, but they didn't get there, by doing nothing. They got there because, they certainly had a parent support group at home, but also they knew that we cared and that we wanted them to make that next step wherever it was. In fact, one of the young ladies who I thought was going to be on the program, she may make it. She was one of my older athletes who's now a coach, who actually was a walk-on at University of Pittsburgh and became captain of their cross-country team.
And what is her name?
Well, her name then was Debbie Riley. Her name now is Debbie Gibralaro.
Okay.
In fact, she was coaching at Quinnipiac for a while. That's
awesome. That's fantastic. That's great. So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. So my next question is, okay, so as you had mentioned earlier that at some point, you had to retire because you had other things that you had to take care of, yep. Including yourself. And the parents stepped up. Talk to me about that.
It was always comforting to me to know that I had an incredibly committed group of parents. So after 25 years, and when I became the head coach here at Southern Connecticut State University, and between my coaching responsibilities and my administrative responsibilities, I knew that I could no longer do what I had done in the past. So when I met with the parents to let them know I was going to have to step down, and unfortunately, the program was going to have to end, parents stepped up to the plate and said, well, no. This program is not going to end. And not only did they step up to the plate, but two of my parents said, look, we'll take it over. So Bill Thompson and Lord Gibson became the head coaches after I gave it up after 25 years. And then Lloyd moved to Florida, so Bill Thompson really became the head coach. And so many of the young people who have come through the program in the past 15 years, they only know Coach T as the person who was their mentor, who gave them guidance. But the parents really were very committed to keeping this program alive and continue to be sure that the kids had a quality experience.
Yeah, and just to let the audience know, I actually had an interview about a couple of weeks ago with Coach Thompson's daughter, and to talk about how he's been honored with his own street, the Coach
Yep.
Thompson Way, and that's fantastic. Just as a legacy for all the work that he's done here for our community and for young people. And so I was happy to also be able to then host this event in this show because I wanted to have people here that could speak about him directly in regard to the work that he did. And so I thank all of you for being here. You listen to Electric Drum. I'm Juan Castillo, and we are here discussing the new Haven Age Group Track Club. James Barber is here. He was the founder and also a legacy in his own right, which I will be talking to him about his life at a later date to go deep into that, right? Because we got some stories. I know Jim has some stories, but today we also have Ayana, I'm sorry, Williams Monroe here, and also Michael Loschiavo. And I want to start with Ayana first. Tell me about your involvement with the program.
Um, so I've been running with this program for almost 9 years now. I started like at 6 maybe, and when I first started, it wasn't really like it wasn't sprints and distance. It was more of distance, and I was the youngest one, so it was like scary working by myself and being the smallest, not knowing what to do, not knowing the coaches and stuff like that. But as I got older, it was like more comfortable. I got comfortable with the coaches, everybody became family. We all basically grew up together on
Right.
the team.
And Coach Thompson was your coach also, right?
hmm
So you got a chance to be coached by him, right? Tell me about your relationship with him.
he wasn't at like most of my practice when I first started, but when he got there, he was like a father figure to me. He helped me like understand about track more. He helped me with my form. He helped me like to know how to pace myself. He helped me with everything basically. Like
Right.
he always was there to help me when I didn't understand.
Wonderful. Now, what school do you go to?
I go to ESUMS.
Right. So you still running track, of course, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna run for Wilbercross High School.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I wish you all the luck in
Thank
the
you.
world. And I know as part of this program, I know you're going to stay on top of your work and your studies, right?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. So let's go over to Michael. Michael, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
All right, all right. So tell me about your involvement in the club. When did you
So,
first get started? Yeah, go ahead.
so I was involved in the club probably since like 2011, 12.
Okay.
So it's been like eight or so years. I was first brought in the program. The first day I went there, I like watched over a practice and I saw Coach T there. He's sitting in his chair while the kids were just starting their workout. I was like, oh man, this guy's a little scary. Like he seems pretty strict with his workouts, and he was a great coach. I feel like he was, like Ayana said, like he's a father figure. He always thought like school and family were before the New Haven Age Group Track Club. That's what meant to us. That's what it meant to him. So it meant to us, and he really believed that. He would have us bring in our report cards whenever like in middle school and high school when the semester ended, or he'd have us bring in our report cards and he'd go over our report cards like one-on-one, like after practice or before practice. And he wanted to see how we were always doing in school.
That's awesome. So now, what school do you go to right now?
So currently I'm a freshman at Pace University and I'm running cross country.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic. So I think you've been well prepared, right?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Well, I want to thank all of you for coming and talking to us and talking to the New Haven community. This is a fantastic program that needs to be lauded, and I appreciate all the work that the parents and the coaches and of course, Mr. Barber, who got this started. And I thank you so much for to just giving the community and an eye view of what your program is all about. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Take care. Juan Castillo with you. This is the Electric Drum on 94.3 WYBC. See you next time.